Wi-Fi or cell service in here to look it up at the moment, but I think that's what it is. Because now every time we saw the ribbons, there was water.
Continue straight onto Alabama 33 North.
Okay, we just pulled off the road really quick. Campground open to campers only, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
So you have to be camping. I don't see any slot for putting stuff in.
There's a bathroom.
For camping, this is
Oh,
a hunting camp, but I don't really see. I guess you could put a tent up here.
Oh, so this is a camping spot. There's definitely picnic tables. There's a fire pit over there.
Yeah, there's a fire pit.
And a fire pit over here. Oh, nice.
So this might be.
Oh, this is a great spot. Oh, yes. I like this spot a lot. It's a little next to the road here. I bet you'd have some road noise though at night, but maybe not at night. Oh, this is a nice spot. A nice couple spots. Where exactly are we? Do you know? It only took. It's still only. Well, it's about 4.
McDougal Hunter Camp.
McDougal Hunter Camp, and this was only. It only took us about a half hour to drive out of the. Were we still in Sipsey? To drive out of there, or Bankhead, and then we just discovered this. Awesome. And there's a little road there. We're not sure where that goes.
I don't know if I want to drive down that right now. There's not a lot of information about these places. It's very vague.
That was pretty neat, though. It was like we just spotted it.
I mean, I've seen it before, but I didn't realize
Like it was a camping spot.
it was a camping spot. I thought it was for hunters only.
That's a really good spot. I mean, yeah, it's right off the road here, so you probably get some road noise, but that's a good spot. So we're almost home. We've been behind these 2 red convertibles most of the way back, so it's been pretty fun tagging along behind them. It's about 6:45 p.m., so we're just about home. The wind in your hair.
Did I bring my stuff down here?
Sure. Well, we're back at the homestead. We brought the air mattress down to the tent, and the weather's beautiful. So I think we might just be doing some tent camping right here in our own backyard homestead. It's gorgeous. And we'll be back to give you guys a quick summation, I guess, of our excursion today. So we were on the road pretty much all day. We left, I don't know, maybe a little after 11, and it's just now 7. So yeah, it's been a full day of driving. And sometimes you just gotta come home to your own backyard. We feel very blessed to live right here in the woods. Good day, free spirits. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. Dave and Wendy are having our coffee. And I just wanted to happily say we had a successful night sleeping in the tent. Finally beautiful weather, clear skies, absolutely perfect temperature. What a great evening. I slept wonderful. How'd you sleep, Dave?
I slept really good.
Good for you. Me too. Hey, free spirits. Wendy and Dave here. Yep. We had a great night's sleep in the tent here. It was wonderful. We actually put the air mattress in there, and it was perfect weather, perfect temperature. Slept like babies. It was wonderful, and the hickory nuts didn't wake us up this morning.
A few dropped, but
Well, actually, I think it did wake me
it-
up, but
it
it was
wasn't-
only one or two.
yeah, it wasn't a hailstorm like the other night. And the air mattress, I think, is definitely way more comfortable. The one that we have.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we've been sleeping on the Big Agnes, and but I really was excited to be back on the air mattress and having the appropriate temperature for it. So it was really a great night's sleep.
so we thought we would talk a little bit about our little adventure yesterday. And so
We're in search of really places to boondock, and that's really been the goal so far. So I'll just kind of start with that.
well, so on most of the on many of the videos that we watch,
And this is just tent camping for now. Let me
Right.
just say that.
so on most of the videos that we watch, everyone's always in search of the perfect campsite. And we have driven around in the past, but yesterday was really the first time that we specifically went looking for boondocking spots. This was in the Bankhead area, which we've been to before, and we wanted to see what it was like looking specifically for potential boondocking kind of spots. And I'm not even sure if the term boondocking applies, because it's really a place that we could car camp with a tent.
Right.
And our tent is sort of big. So there are areas that we saw that specifically say that you could tent camp, but it's really backpacking kind of tent camping. And we wanted to see, what if we were driving around and we needed a place to stay or stay for a couple days? How would we find these spots, and what tools would we use? And what do they look like? And what we found, and you saw in the video a lot of it, and we have no idea what other national parks and preserves and so forth are really like, but in the Bankhead Forest, what we found was very narrow dirt roads.
I probably wouldn't even want to take our trailer.
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
Yeah. Even with the SUV that we have, which is not lifted, there were some spots that were almost bottoming out.
We kind of did.
So
in our car, truck,
and
SUV.
And we did see there was somebody with just a small car that was parked on the trailhead, and I'm sure they had to be very careful getting in there. But what we found was sort of surprising. A lot of very narrow, gravelly roads that were going through mountainous areas.
I think there were more dirt than
there
sand.
There were drop-offs on both sides of the road. There was nowhere to really pull over. Very few, and miles that we were driving, very few spots to even pull over, let alone visually on the left and right sides of the roads. There was nowhere even close.
And we're saying even if you're van camping, there's really
there's
not many.
There was almost no place to pull over.
Mm-mm.
Now, there were some designated areas, and we're not even sure if they were for camping, but there was a small area. Some were labeled on the map as trailheads, but there was little to no signage. There were a couple places that had little, the typical
Posts, you mean?
well, that had like a wooden sign, a big sign with the map, the typical
Gotcha.
things that you see that show the trails, but very little even information on there. The trail information was not any real kind of map. It was just very roughly drawn information about the trail, no information about elevation or difficulty, or where you might want to be able to even set up a tent. So we did find there were a couple pullovers that had gates in front of them, so enough room to pull over. And if you walk a little bit past the gate, there were areas that you could set up a tent. One of them we saw, obviously, the spot that we identified, and I think we took you there.
Yeah.
There was some sign that someone had a fire, and it was sort of like in the middle of the road, and it wasn't clear. The road continued down pretty far. I don't know where it went. I don't know if that was a road that the rangers use or whatever. But there was no indication that this was a sort of like a designated camp spot. So I'm not really sure what the deal is about being able to, but certainly you could pull over and set up a tent there. There were only a few that we found, and the one that was a big gigantic field,
I'm not sure what to make of that.
I think that might have been a horse camp area.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a gate on the other side, and we didn't go past the gate because I think there was access on the other side of the gate to some road. But it was so overgrown.
Yeah, I wouldn't walk.
I don't think that road possibly could have been used for anything. And I thought we have to do a little bit of research on the specifics of the spot we found. But it looked like that might have been a horse camp area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, getting horse trailers to that spot, I don't see happening.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't considered that part.
So we know nothing at all about how people do horse camping, but they might ride their horses
into the camp,
into that camp area. But there was no place to tie horses or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, did people backpack?
Yeah, you could see it was just one big open field.
Yeah, I don't know if people backpack all their stuff on the back of horses and ride through the forest. I have
so
no
for
idea.
us to find places to go camp within a couple-hour radius from here, from home, that is not a place that we would, on purpose, pack up our stuff to go camping in that area. That, as far as boondocking goes.
So there were cool areas, but we were also thinking about, what if we're traveling somewhere and we want to find a spot to stay overnight or for a couple days along our travels.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is, and I think Wendy agrees with me, it is a long way in the forest to maybe find a spot, because there are only a couple of spots, and if people are there, then
and we're not backpack tenters.
Right.
We don't do that.
So obviously we just have
we have
truck.
Abby.
But if you had a van, which I'm not sure if I would want to take a van down those roads unless it was lifted somewhat.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
And low-hanging trees in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
spots. Or a pickup camper. It would be cool to drive there and be able to not have to set up a whole bunch of stuff and just stay overnight. But the long drive in is not really worth it to us.
It wouldn't be a spot that we would say, okay, let's go camping there this weekend.
There are trails in the area, but they're not really close to the spots that you might want to set your tent up in, and there's a lot of distance. So I mean, if you like hiking for miles and miles,
and that's some treacherous hiking, I got to say, because there's some real drop-offs in there.
Yeah. So to go down to the creek, I mean, you're almost mountain climbing.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah.
So. And the other thing, too, which we showed you when we first started, these are not maintained areas.
No,
So
not at all.
uh, the one spot we saw that was literally on the road, it was a sort of gravelly and sandy road. You could pitch a tent there. In other places there was tall grass. Some of the first spot that we stopped at, which I found on Google, actually I think that was somebody on the Dirt website said that was a boondocking spot.
And you're
that
also
they found.
using onyx.
Yeah, I didn't use onyx yesterday because we didn't get that far to need to even try to use it. But the first spot, I mean, you'd have to take a weed whacker with you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To clear the area out to be to be able to walk around the campsite. So if you were going to stay a day or two just to enjoy being camping in the area, you have to clean up the area, and
So
that's
this
not
is
really what we're looking for.
right.
Either.
I was just going to say, which we know can happen, and if we were, I guess if we were taking the trailer, we would have room for that, but we don't really. We just have the SUV
Yeah, and
right now.
none of these spots were really conducive to bringing a trailer into.
Or a dog.
No.
No.
So
that's what we wanted to just bring that, or bring that to your attention if you were planning to come and visit out there, and we did like the campground where we did the video a couple weeks ago. That was a pretty nice campground, and we've been to Talladega too, and we plan to go back there and do a little bit more looking around for spots for
exploring there too. But
exploring.
we're looking, like everybody else, we're looking for the perfect spot that's got some access to water, that's accessible, not for drinking, but we want a creek that we could cool off in. It's been, it was in the high 90s all yesterday, so getting out and hiking around too far just didn't make any sense. So being able to cool off, especially since we don't have power, showers, things to bring with us. If you're spending the day in 90 degrees and you've got to cool off, you need a way to cool off. So those are the kind of things that we're learning, and we're sharing all this with you because this is we're sort of having this channel to talk about all these ideas of camping, RVing, and so forth from a perspective of somebody who's never done it before, doesn't really know anything about actually doing it and what we're finding. So, you watch all these videos of people, just go to boondocking, just pull off the road and boondock. Well, that's just really not happening around here in Alabama. You can do it. There are spots. Is it going to be enjoyable? It'll be fun.
That depends on your level of excitement,
it
I
would be
guess.
fun. I mean, I guess, and you're not really supposed to drink in the forest, so you're not supposed to be bringing alcohol in, and obviously nobody really follows those rules because we did find beer cans and stuff in a couple areas, and we weren't prepared to clean up sites yesterday. Not messy, but there are beer cans around, so we know people were there and hanging out,
and other garbage, but
and some other garbage, but not too bad. But that's sort of what we found in our adventures yesterday. And if you wanted to do stuff in the area, that's a pretty far drive into the middle of the woods to set up camp and then take a drive out to where there are other things to do. And even the other trails are pretty far away from the spots that you might be able to pull, do a car camping kind of deal. So we tried to share with you some of the things that we saw, but for the most part, none of that was all that super exciting. I mean, I would have liked to be able to pull over somewhere on the road and, go down to the creek, but it was
There was nothing
it
accessible
was
in that way in
it
that
was
place.
40, 50 feet off of pretty steep
There was some
cliffs and
Yeah, cliffs.
yeah. So, if you like that kind of thing, fine. But there was no place to even really pull over and try to climb down. So, and
not
there
that we
were,
found.
and we did run into some other cars coming down the road that fortunately weren't too challenging. The spots that we met, there was just enough room
to pull over and
pull
let
over
each
enough.
other by.
Yeah, and there was a tree down. I think we showed some of that.
Yes.
So we sort of had to go around a
Yeah.
pretty big tree. When I was approaching it, I was thinking, okay, what are we going to do? Because there wasn't really a place to turn around, but there was just enough room to go around it.
Yeah.
So.
And for us, this is one of the reasons why we built this deck, so we could, because we had no flat places on the property and to put our tent, so we were just as excited to come home and have a glass of wine and just chill out in our own tent.
We drove around exploring the forest and came back to
our own
to our own little campground.
Our own backyard campsite.
So our explorations will continue. We're not sure how much we're going to go back to the Bankhead area.
We'll probably move on.
Yeah, there were some waterfalls we wanted to see, but they'll just probably be day trips if we could, if we want to go do that. The other interesting thing I want to mention, which is actually pretty important, I was using Google Maps to navigate. Now, I'm pretty good with directions, so when we went into the roads, there aren't that many different turns that you could take. So if I had no map at all and I had no phone at all, I could probably find my way out. The interesting thing that's really important is there are roads that show these dirt roads. I don't remember if they were called like state routes or whatever, numbered roads through the forest. But on the map, it shows where the roads are, but it doesn't show that some of them are gated and closed. So
like we came across.
So we came across the one camp area. We drove, I don't know, 20 minutes down this really tiny road, because on the map it showed that eventually that road would lead back out to, a highway or something. Well, we were almost all the way to where we thought the highway was supposed to be, and there was a closed gate we couldn't get through, and we had to literally turn around and go all the way back to where we started. The maps don't show that. I don't know if the forest maps, because you could get forest maps from the National Forest website, or the ranger station. They might have maps. They might show what's actually accessible. Now we always understand some roads might just be closed because they might be washed out or whatever, and sometimes you don't really find out about that until you're there. But the gates is a big thing, and clearly on the other side of that gate, it was so overgrown. It used to be a road, but you couldn't really drive through with a vehicle, even if the gate was open. So that's a interesting little thing. So if you're looking for a place to stay overnight and you're an hour or two driving through all these little roads, and now all of a sudden, it doesn't show a dead end, but it's a dead end, and you now have to go back. When you're looking for a campsite to stay at, that really, puts a cog in.
I definitely would not drive through there at nighttime.
Yeah.
There was just way too many cliffs and drop-offs that you don't even realize are there. Like one looked like a pull-off where you could park, and it was not. It was straight down.
Yeah.
so that was
So-
kind of freaky.
That was our fun experience, and we hope you enjoyed coming with us and seeing what we experienced. For the most part, it was all, I mean, it looked very much the same driving through, just woods, very, very thick
lot
woods.
of dense
and
woods, yeah.
cliffs and ravines and stuff like that along almost the whole way. And we did not get out to walk any of the trails.
And we really couldn't see any water. Not really.
No. So, and let us know if you know what those blue ribbons are. We think.
Oh, we forgot to look it up.
Yeah,
I was going to look
we
it up.
think that they're indicate water, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
We'll have to look that up if we could find that out. But that was our day yesterday, and we came home and had something to eat, and then.
And there's lots and lots of campgrounds and places to camp in Alabama, which we'll definitely be looking into. But
Yeah.
we're sort of looking for the out of the way spots if we can find them. But either way, remember the word journey begins and ends with the word joy. So we're just looking at sharing all the joy in our journeys, even if it's right here from our own backyard in the woods.
And I will remind you, I'm Dave. This is my wife Wendy, and thank you for watching. And if this has been interesting to you, please comment. We'd love to read your comments, and I'm not sure what we could share back with you as we are learning with you. But any advice and information that you might have to share, we'd love to hear. So,
Thanks, everybody.
thanks.
Until the next time, happy travels.